Hello and welcome to Mind, Mood and Food podcast with me, Margaret Bell, anti-diet powered coach and gut health expert, and my partner in crime, Adele Derbyshire.
Hello, I am a yoga teacher and creator of Find Your Inner Sparkle, which is a toolbox, 50 ways to help you to look and feel better from the inside out.
And today we're talking about find your purpose. I'm going to get this right. IKIGAI.
For those of you that don't know, Margaret and I had a little chat before. We usually have a little chat before we do the podcast, and I just gave her a crash course in how to pronounce it. So yeah. IKIGAI, perfect, well done.
Thank you. I had to write it down because there's no way when I'm looking at it was like, I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you very much.
Yeah, I've never heard of this until fairly recently, and I was doing a lot of research on it because of a course that I ran and still run, called Living Your Life on Purpose, Start Living Your Life on Purpose. And it's all about, with what I do, Find Your Inner Sparkle, it's about finding your happiness, finding your peace, finding your mojo, finding what you love. So of course, when you start delving into things about what lights people up and what is it, the elusive topic of what makes you happy is something I think I've been on that search since forever, like since I can remember. I don't know why I've had this calling just to find what makes you happy, and not just okay, but like really happy, like if you can be okay, that's great, because some people are not. And if you're not okay, which is, where I was a few years ago, when you have a real problem with anxiety and depression, and all you want is just to feel like level again, just all right.
Yeah.
But I wasn't happy with that. I wanted to crash through that and go to like what makes you feel really happy, what makes you feel like, jumping out of bed in the morning instead of going, oh God, it's another day.
That elated feelings that I am looking forward to the day.
Yeah. Like you want to be around for a long time yet, just why not? If we're going to be here and we've got one life, as we know of, whatever your beliefs are, we only know for sure that we've got this one. So I've always felt like I wanted to squeeze every last drop out of life. I don't know, again,
I get you,
not sure why,
definitely.
but yeah. I mean, maybe I lost my dad when I was 12, and I think that has a lot to do with it. He's, my age now, 45. He died at 45. So it's like this race against time to get the most
into
out of
perspective,
life,
doesn't it? Yeah.
And to enjoy it. So Ikigai is a Japanese concept, and it's not got an exact translation into English, so I don't think you can, the essence of it, you can't properly translate literally, but it does mean like reason for being. So similar to the French concept of raison d'etre, reason for being. It means like life, iki, and gai is loosely translated as purpose, so life's purpose.
Life purpose.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when we think about life purpose, we can get a little bit like I used to try and find my life purpose, and I thought it was this one thing, like this holy grail that, well, how do you know when you found it? And what if you think you found it and you picked the wrong thing, and you just go off down this path, and then you get up there and you find out that you did the wrong thing, and it's like, no, that wasn't your purpose. Have you seen the film Soul?
You know what? No, I haven't. Go on.
That's your homework.
Okay. Is that soul as an
S-O-U-L, and it's a Disney? So sometimes people miss out on the children's films, because if kids are older or you don't have kids, you kind of feel like they're not for you, but they really are. Like, I love them. Some of them are better than others, but this film, when I watched it, I think I'd already written my course, and I watched this film and I was like, oh my God, I've got to like go and do another bit and include this in the course, because the guy, it's soul. It's all about your soul. So he's trying to find, he thinks what, he wants in life. And he's a music teacher. So he thinks that that's not good enough. And he's trying to find his purpose and his passion, which he thinks he'll feel fulfilled once he gets on the big stage, and once he's performing jazz to like millions of people, and he's going for it, and he's getting in touch with this, you know, famous person, and it's starting to happen, but he dies. And you're like, oh! So he's like, it's a Disney film, so he can't, it's not graphic, he falls down a pothole or something like that. But his soul goes up to heaven, and he's kicking off because he's like, oh, I'm not meant to be here, I've got all these dreams and plans and da da da. And he goes on this, he gets like off the escalator he's supposed to be going on to go to the next bit, and he's like, no, you know, I'm not going there. And he ends up like sneaking into this place, which is, it's all about helping new souls, and they have to get their purpose before they get sent to Earth to be born. And there's this little one, this little like new soul that he never gets born because he's always like trying to escape it because he doesn't want to go down there and he doesn't know what his purpose is. Anyway, it kind of all comes to all that his purpose isn't what he thought it was. He was already kind of living it, really. And life is wonderful, like, you know, if we just open our eyes. And when he came back to life, he got given a second chance, and he could see, you know, everything differently. And music was his passion, music was his joy, and it didn't matter that he wasn't a famous jazz musician or performing to millions of people, but being able to play that music and to get that feeling and to teach the children to do it and things like that, you know. So sometimes we might, you know, feel like we're looking for something and let ego and ambition, and there's nothing wrong with ambition, of course, you know, we all want to do better and be more and give more to the world, but sometimes that can lead us down a path where we've forgotten what our true calling or our true purpose is. So there are 4 pillars to this Japanese concept, which if you can tick all of these, you know, it's said that you found your ikigai, the reason for being and the reason you want to jump out of bed in the morning. But I want to caveat with this, and what I taught in my Living Your Life on Purpose course was, like, you don't have to tick every single one, you know, to feel like you're following your purpose and following your dharma and following your passion and your joy. So one of them is, it's got to be something that you love. So you could just be doing something that you love, and you do it, you know, every week, twice a week or something, because you love dancing and you go to dance class, or you love singing and you've joined a choir, or you love cooking and you cook a beautiful meal every night, and it's colourful and it's fresh and it's vibrant and it makes you really proud. And that's ikigai. Like, that's, it doesn't have to be one thing. So you just find something that you love and do that and do more of that. But the second part of this is something that you're good at. So maybe you love to sing, but everyone around you is like, oh God, please stop. So you're still like, I love singing. Like, why not do it? But if you're tone deaf, you know, you're not going to get you're not going to be able to do it in front of more people. Maybe you're certainly not going to be able to do it for a living, you know, if you're not good at it. But there are things that you could do to get better. So if you love cooking, but everything you do is like ruined and it's burnt and you just have no idea and your flavors are all off, of course you can go on courses, you can take cookery classes, you can get books, you can get, you know, YouTube videos. And so there are things you can do if you love it and you do it and you enjoy it. Gardening, for example. I'm rubbish at gardening.
I love it, but it's a learning curve, put it that way.
I mean, it's so difficult. The amount of things that I kill. Oh, it's terrible. But I can, you know, choose to learn and to read books and to study that so that I get better at it. Number 3 is something that the world needs. So you could look at this with me with my yoga. Like, I used to work corporate job and I did yoga once a week. And I loved yoga. Every time I stepped on the mat, I felt safe. I felt there was no competition. I couldn't do it wrong. It was the only place throughout my week where I just felt, didn't have any of that pressure that I felt every other place. You know, in work, you feel like you've got to show up, you've got to do it right. You know, if you get it wrong, there'll be consequences. You worry about what people think of you, all that stuff. And on the yoga mat, none of that. I just loved it. But I
It's
only did
just
it once a
you.
week.
It's just you in that present moment, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I loved it. I'd found something that I loved, tick. Probably wasn't good at it for the first few weeks or months or whatever, you know, like I learned the postures, learned the movements, learned to breathe better, learned how to meditate, and so I got better at it. And it is something that the world needs. I believe like every single person without fail would benefit from yoga. And I'm actually really passionate about bringing yoga to everybody, as in body shape, body size, tall, thin, you know, somebody that can't get up and down from the floor or has a wrist issue or whatever it might be, because yoga is such a wonderful tool to access, to move your body every day, and to also tap into, you know, what's going on in your headspace. So it definitely is something the world needs. So I'm like, oh, okay, I've got 3 of these, but I was still working my corporate job and doing, you know, yoga just as a hobby, really. And then fourthly, it's something that you can make money from. So as I started to do my teacher training and venture into teaching yoga, you know, a few times a week, and then more recently got made redundant and got the opportunity to pursue this as a career, I then, before I know it, start to tick all 4 of the boxes and feel like, oh, this is my purpose, this is my calling, this is what I'm meant to be doing. But to start with, I wasn't, but it didn't stop me going down that road.
Yeah, I can completely get from you saying that. I've mentally ticked off all 4 myself.
Yeah.
Because I think, let's face it, there's lots of things in your life that you enjoy doing, you love doing, but when you think about it, what do you really want to pursue further, and how can you then make that something that's good? Obviously it's going to benefit you, but benefit others as well.
Yeah, and then you can feel like I think the reason that this works is, you know, because if you're showing up and it's something that the world needs, you've got good at it, you've mastered a skill, and then you actually love it. You know, if you yes, anyone can start a business doing something that the world needs and that they can get paid for it. But if one of the components is missing because you don't love it, you know, say you're buying and selling t-shirts or whatever, you found out that there's a great markup on it, it's great, you can make money from it, you're good at it, but you know,
your heart's not in it.
Yeah, it doesn't light your soul. Like the job I did, I was good at it, the world needed it, obviously, or else I wouldn't have been given a position doing it. I think I was good at it, else I wouldn't have been there nearly 30 years. They got rid of me. It paid well, but it wasn't something that I loved. Like, it wasn't something that made me excited to jump out of bed in the morning. So again, a lot of the components were there, but not all of them. So it's just something to think about, really, in terms of where you're at. Anybody that's listening to this, that maybe you've got a couple ticked, but not all of them, and that's absolutely fine. You know, at least if you are doing something that you love at some point in your life, at least you've got, you know, something ticked in your IKIGAI.
One of the things I've discovered on my menopause journey, which is just starting, is that sound nutrition and a healthy diet are essential. And it's something many menopausal women still don't know enough about. Women are aware they should be eating certain foods to help them, but they don't really know where to start. I'm excited to announce that myself and Shirley Lane, menopause coach, will actually be working together and starting to run menopause food masterclasses. The first one being in autumn on the 22nd of October 2022, 10:30 till 3:30. On a menopause feed masterclass day, there will be information provided by Shirley about the menopause, with some tips on how you can help yourself through this transition. Plus, she'll show you some practical techniques to help you relax. I will be providing some sound advice on nutrition and gut health for the menopause, and how food choices can improve your menopause journey. In addition, There'll also be some hands-on cookery. Here you'll learn how to cook some seasonal recipes using locally sourced organic ingredients, sample your own cooking, and acquire lots of useful knowledge to take away with you. The first Menopause Food Masterclass will be taking place on Saturday, 22nd of October from 10 o'clock till 3:30 and is £125 per guest. As we were doing cookery, numbers are very restricted, so booking early is recommended. This masterclass will take place at the Straw Lodge at the beautiful Ford Hall Organic Farm in Market Drayton, North Shropshire, which is England's first community-owned farm. If you want to hear more, then please do send me an email at margaret@nehhub.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Now back to the podcast.
Method,
Spectrum.
format, spectrum. I don't know what the word is then. You'll be doing better than somebody that hasn't. But you maybe that you could just do something to tweak that. You know, maybe you could go on a course to get better at that thing that you love doing, or maybe you could find a way to make money from it. It might not be that you ditch the job, and you might not be in a situation where you can do that, but how about you do it as a sideline? You know, if you love helping people to learn to sing, for example, you could go and probably, you know, join a local choir that maybe they want volunteers, and then maybe you build up your skills, and then you start a little singing club of your own where people come and they pay, I don't know, whatever you pay, £6, £10 to come to singing class. So you could be doing that as well as your day job, and you never know where that would end. You could start a YouTube channel teaching people a skill that you're good at. You could build a little online course. You could write a book about it. You know, there's so many possibilities to fulfill your purpose in your raison d'etre. And don't think that you have to find that one thing. I think that's really important as well, because, you know, I love doing this right now, but if something else came along that you felt, I really feel called to do that, and it lights you up inside and it feels even better, then, you know, I'm not going to say this is my one purpose and, you know, that's the end of the road, because that's not how life unfolds. We find different things that come into our world, and we just follow our passion. And that's what I teach the kids. You know, they're like 14 and 16 and leaving school soon, doing their options, doing the GCSEs, and they're like, I don't know what I want to be. And my whole line or teaching around this is just, what do you like doing? And at the minute they can only pick the subjects they like doing, because that's all they really know.
Absolutely.
Just do them then.
God, I don't know about you, but the pressure that I felt when I was at school, you need to make a decision of what you want to do in life. It's like, really? I'm 15, 16 years old, for goodness sake.
It's like you've got to choose now, because you're choosing your subjects, and then if you get it wrong, your life's over.
I mean, Blummerneck, the ones I chose. English Lit, this is A level, a little bit stage further. Geography.
Yeah. My son's doing geography.
And media studies.
Yeah.
These three things haven't really had much to do with the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Geography, I remember plate tectonics, oxbow lakes, that's about it.
Yeah, but then if you do want to go off and do something, you know, my son wants to do geography and biology, and if, you know, he's interested in, he loves animals, so I'm thinking maybe he could travel, he could maybe do something like, you know, marine biology or whatever it might be. But there are things he could follow, or he could do that at A level and totally decide to pivot and go and be like, I don't know, a swimming coach or something. I don't know, like, just doesn't matter, does it? I think just what is important is to do things that you enjoy and to do more of them. And I think sometimes we're too busy on the hamster wheel, and that's a shame. So what I like doing is causing people to think. I think a lot of what I teach and talk about makes people go, because for some reason I've always naturally been like this, and been searching and looking and studying and learning and finding ways to just be a better human being. to be kinder, to be, you know, to be physically and mentally healthier, and to be happier. So I'm always looking for answers, and to discover what you're passionate about and what you love and do more of that is such, if you take one thing from this podcast today, like just do that. Just think, what am I doing in my life, you know, morning, noon and night? Is what are the things that light me up and make me happy? And if you can't find any, then it's not good. Like, find something, because if you're just getting up, dashing off to work, maybe you do go to the gym but you bloody hate it, and you go because you feel like you should do. You know,
the shoulds.
One coach said to me once, stop shoulding all over yourself, which I love.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I should do the cleaning, I should do the exercise, I should do this. And now, like, I love my exercise. I can't wait to get on my mat and do yoga. I can't wait to get outside and take my dog for a walk, because I just do yoga and walking, more or less, and a bit of Zumba. So all my exercise is things that I love, because life's too bloody short to do things that you are looking at that clock the whole way through the gym session or the class, and you just cannot wait for it to end. But if you are a gym buddy and you love it and it lights you up, go do it.
Absolutely.
But don't do it if you hate it. Like, why? There's other choices.
Yeah. There's some things in the gym that I do enjoy, but the likes of classes ain't for me. I'm more of I like boxing, so that's what I do. So everyone's different. Just because someone goes to the gym and love it doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah.
Find your inner fire.
Yeah, and just find you, really. Like, I think sometimes people have forgotten who they are, and this is where you know, going to a coach or using like the tools like journaling can help. Because sometimes I think as well, when people have had children, and that whole, your raison d'etre becomes focusing on them, because you can say, oh, it's all about them, you've got to make these little people survive, and you completely switch focus and you forget about your ambitions and your career and your body and your health and all of that stuff. And it can be that you lose yourself a little bit, but finding out what you like is just so important. Like, it's your life, and there are ways to do more of what you like, even if you're really busy. But going just about your day like a hamster in a wheel, getting home from work, or switching off the computer if you work from home, and then collapsing in front of the couch after you've done the dinner, and we talked about last time on the podcast, helping to then get to sleep, and saying, right, well, now I'm going to have 1 or 2 glasses of wine to unwind. And sometimes you can be tricked into thinking like that's your pleasure, you know, but that's trying to fill a void that could be filled by doing other things. If you know that you feel fulfilled during the day because you've made time for you and you've done something that you enjoy, it doesn't have to be this big, grand, like I say, holy grail that you found your purpose and there's all bells and whistles go off when you find it. Just do stuff you enjoy. And if you can get paid for it and you can find out that other people love it, then all the better. But just start small, start part-time, do a little bit in the evenings, take a course, take a class, and just see where it leads you. You just never know. The world and the universe works this way. So once you start to put that intention out and you start to like Google things, or you know, you'll find more things dropping into your lap, and you know, you'll start to notice adverts for cooking classes or whatever it is. So once you start talking to people saying, do you know, I'm really interested in that, then opportunities unfold, and people go, oh, somebody I know is looking for someone who can help with that, or you know, volunteer. And you just don't know, just start looking.
And that's exactly how you and me started anyway, just a little building up from there. So,
absolutely. Oh. I enjoyed that.
Me too. I've got to keep on remembering IKIGAI.
IKIGAI, yeah, it's not IKIGAI, it's IKIGAI, and it's a Japanese concept. And there's the place in Japan, Okinawa, where this concept was born. They really believe in this, and everything's geared around working towards finding their IKIGAI. And they have the highest percentage of centenarians, or people who reach 100. So there is this proof that if you can find your passion and find your purpose and find things that light you up and actually, you know, do that for a living, then you live longer. So that's not bad, is it?
Happy days.
Yeah.
Fantastic podcast. Loved that.
Good.
Oof. So if you've enjoyed our podcast today, people, then please do comment below. You know, we're always interested in what you think of the podcasts, what you'd like us to have a chat about in the future.
Yeah, send us some topic ideas.
Absolutely. And
leave us a review.
Definitely leave us a review, and don't forget to hit that wonderful subscribe button so you keep in the loop as to when we next actually release a podcast, which at the moment is every fortnight. So thanks for joining us today, and we'll hopefully see you very, very soon.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.